Hi everyone! I thought I'd make a video about my UI. Someone requested it, so I'm going to go through some of my important Resto Druid WeakAuras that I use and healing add-ons. First, I'll talk about my add-ons. I do use Cell to heal. I used to use Voodoo, but I switched over to Cell like extremely recently, probably less than a month ago. My only complaint is that it doesn't lock hots to a singular location. So if I, like in Voodoo, I used to be able to press Rejuve, Germination, Life Bloom, Regrowth, and they all had their specific spots that they would fill into when pressed. But now, with Cell, if you have, say, a Regrowth on there, it'll just stack. And then you can put it to an order of priority. For example, if I put a Life Bloom on myself right now, it'll pop in between there. But it was nice to have everything aligned in like a single column to see how things were stacking. That's my only complaint with Cell. I don't know how to fix it. If anyone has any tips on that, that would be really helpful. Um, on another note, I do still have Voodoo as an add-on, but it's actually just to make it so I can use the text from Voodoo in Cell because I'm just a nostalgic baby. I just wanted everything to look exactly like Voodoo. But the Voodoo interface is just so archaic and challenging to change. I thought it would be useful to switch over to something a little newer, so now I'm over on Cell. Now, in addition to Cell, I also do use DBM for some of those audio cues. Of course, I use details for my meters. I use OmniCD for party cooldown tracking, and I use Out of Mana 2, which sends a chat notification and announces that I don't have mana to everyone in the party. Mine is currently set at 20%, so when I am down to 20% mana, it will trigger that. I also have Plater. My Plater profile is Quasi's. You can find his Plater name profile on his website. It's free. The website can be a little misleading. It makes it seem like it's not free, but it is. Okay, now to WeakAuras. Here are some of the WeakAuras that help me heal. So I use Zytek's Mythic Dungeon Pack, and I mainly use that for the AoE circle that gets placed on my interface when an AoE is incoming. It's extremely helpful to know when to prep all of my hots. I also have an abundance tracker to help me track my abundance stacks. I do use abundance as a talent, and I do take advantage of those fast regrowths. I also use it in raid, so it's just really helpful to be able to quickly see if I'm up to 12 stacks. The battle res tracker, it just lets me know if a battle res is available and how long it will be until the next one. This extremely helpful add-on reminds me to change out my Keystone at the end of a dungeon. I complete the dungeon, this pops up, and I am immediately slapped in the face with the reminder that if I need to change out my Keystone, I can. This is a recent one I started using. I changed out my Mythic Plus timer. Some of my Mythic Plus timer stuff was wrong. The actual WeakAura, the timing was wrong on it, but this one is called Mythic Plus Timer by Reroll. This is a great one. QE Dynamic Cursor Druid. This one is from Dragonflight, but it still works. A lot of other classes have QE dynamic cursors. I don't know what QE stands for, but it's a style of cursor that lets you know what you still need to put up on people or what you still have available. If I put my Life Blooms on 2 people, Life Bloom will disappear from my cursor. If I use my Swiftmen, Swiftmen will disappear from my cursor. Resto Druid High Priority Abilities. It will let you know if something is up, similar to the mouse. It's another place for you to refer to. So I really like knowing if wild growth is available or not. I can have that on my cursor, but I'm so much less focused on my cursor when I'm trying to cast wild growth. I'm looking at the overall frames usually. So it's really helpful to have that extra WeakAura button there, letting me know that it's up. There's also a feature inside this WeakAura that triggers a audio of Bloom Up, which plays when my Life Bloom is about to expire on both targets, and that's a really helpful reminder to reapply my Life Bloom.
Bloom up.
This is Raid Ability Timeline. While the name suggests that it can only be used in Raid, it can be used in dungeons. This can be really helpful in particular for bosses where the timing on some of the abilities is kind of weird or abilities don't happen in a consistent order every single time. So for example, one boss that always trips me up on the order is the last boss of Dark Flame Cleft. It just seems like I'm never quite sure when the little creatures that need to be interrupted are going to come out or when the AoE is coming. And so that is a huge help for me to know if I still have time to DPS or when I need to start prepping my hats. My mana bar. I I love my mana bar. I hate looking at this little thing. It's so annoying. It does not provide me with any information. Those I also hate all those big flashy WeakAura interfaces that have just like a bunch of buttons flashing at you. I wanted something simple, just easy to read, easy to glance down at. That pretty much summarizes all of my add-ons and WeakAuras. Let me know if you have any questions or suggestions for other people.